Shadow Mewtwo vs Gardevoir is one of the most straightforward matchups in the game. With the change to level 3 Sideway Blast being able to go through pretty much any projectile with the S tier priority, it really changes that matchup so that in field phase you don't really have to rush down. You can throw one of those out to get a lot closer to the opponent while they have to really respect it. As far as supports go, you can pretty much have free reign here. I just like Eevee because it allows you to do pillar pressure and actually combo off of it. Now Gardevoir has quite a few moves that can be problematic in field phase. I think forward Y is the one that's the most annoying. Forward Y, if they charge it all the way, it stuns you, then they can lead into another one which keeps you in field phase. And let me show how much damage that is. So you see that's 100 damage just for one of those forward Ys. So landing 2 of those brings you all the way down to 330. So that's 150 damage. You really don't want that. Side Y is also pretty annoying to deal with. This move, it has very good lateral movement and it pushes you back pretty far. So if I show on block, it's minus 20, but nothing that you have that fast is going to be able to hit from that far away. Energy Ball is pretty annoying. This move, if you touch it with any projectile, it'll explode into those like things like the, let me show you. So even if you go through it, it'll explode into those. Now the problem with those is, you saw they did quite a bit of damage and they knock you down. But even worse, even in burst, those are heavies. So that is really dangerous. You don't even really want to be messing with it. However, now we have level 3 Blast. So with level 3 Blast, let's see if I can go through at this right here. Yeah, you can just go ahead and go completely through it. I wonder if it stops those. Okay, so I guess the exploding parts of the energy ball also has S tier priority, so they just go through level 3 blast. In field phase, you really can rush Gardevoir down. Side Y is not really something that you need too much. You really can just like get kind of close to it. When you're going for a jumping Y, as long as you're jumping to the side, there's not a whole lot Gardevoir can really do. So let's check out Gardevoir's anti-air real quickly. So it should be back Y. Yeah, back Y. And you can do it in different directions, but they have to guess exactly which way you're coming down. And I believe this pierces if they charge it. Yeah, it pierces if they charge it, but if you're flying all around it with jump Y and reflecting different trajectories, it's going to be really hard for Gardevoir to deal with you. So you can just kind of hop on over it, and even if it tries to counter, once you see blue, you come down with Earthquake. You can back up and go for a flamethrower, depending on what side you want to go on. And then there's really nothing that Gardevoir can do. Let's say that you ended up shifting it. Let's say you ended up shifting it, flamethrower, and then you went for a pillar, and then you have a meaty. There's not really anything Gardevoir can do about this pressure. Its counterattack is just, you can just teleport out of basically anything you can do on wake up, or you can just continue your pressure with like a jump cancel or something like that. So yeah, Gardevoir is super simple. Just kind of get in close to it and level 3 blast to make sure that it's not zoning you out, and then jump Y. It's just, you know, I'm making it seem extremely simple and extremely easy, but that's because it is extremely simple and that is pretty easy. Dual phase is very similar. Level 3 blast, all that nonsense that Gardevoir has. You know, all these projectiles, like, you know, they're cute and stuff, right? But they're just not useful against level 3 blast, and you can really, once you get in range to use 6x, there's like really no moves Gardevoir has to deal with that. One thing to note that is kind of important though, is if Gardevoir does the air command counter, this is 0 on block in burst, but out of burst it's minus 20. So you can punish it with like 2YY, or if you're close enough, like if you're in a corner, you can just like grab. But in burst, remember that it's 0 on block. And the problem with trying to counterattack it is sometimes they'll recover fast enough. So just, in my opinion, either counter it really early or just try to avoid it in burst. Burst to Gardevoir is quite annoying. Now, one thing I will show you is what a lot of bursted Gardevoir like to do is they just keep on looping this. And the problem with this is if you try to walk forward into this, you just get hit. So This is the 9A, by the way, and it's super annoying. It does a lot of chip damage, as you can see. But what you can do, so obviously as you can see, it's very hard to just walk through this. Even dashing through it can be pretty dangerous, and it does a lot of damage. But you can slide under it because those are all highs, so that's really useful to note. Just slide right under all those. I personally would try to slide once, then maybe go for a shoulder. But yeah, you can slide. And then outside of that, jumping is nice. Just, you know, obviously if you're too predictable, Gardevoirs are going to try to anti-air you. I think the most important thing to remember in this matchup is that you own the space on the screen. If you've gotten Gardevoir to block a level 2 blast, or even if they get hit, that's when you start up your pillar stuff. It's if you shift from field to duel, let's say I shift with the forward Y and you pop Eevee, most characters, if you back up into a pillar, their dash speed or they have some forward moving, lunging move that's going to just stop you from constantly pillaring. Gardevoir doesn't really have anything like that. Level 3 blast, there's just nothing Gardevoir. Gardevoir's a pure zoner. So if you have a S tier priority projectile, it just can't deal with it. So yeah, this matchup is extremely basic, it's extremely simple, and I'm not trying to make it seem like you don't have to do anything at all as far as beating Gardevoir, but it's extremely straightforward. I'd like to learn this matchup and practice it against some top Gardevoir players as well, but that's the basics of how this matchup goes down. You really just dominate this matchup pretty easily. Oh, and remember that burst attack is safe on block now, and it didn't used to be. Anyway, thanks for watching. On to the next guy.